That's what's up. I miss you, man. I love you, man. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot tonight. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. A roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna joyride, we only ride, that's okay, that's on me. I got this feeling that my dreams will never come unless I chase it. I've been feeling hella lazy, need to push up on myself. Guilty conscience keep me waiting on some help. Basically, I had insecurities. Mentally, I was killing myself. Constantly running from my memory. Apparently, I was dealing with anxiety. Like, what is this inside of me? How do I identify it? Gotta get it out of me. I just wanna be free. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot tonight. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. A roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna joyride, we only live one life. Lot of niggas terrified. If you wanna ride, that's okay, that's on me. Rest assured, I'ma be an entrepreneur. I can feel it out of my bones. You can smell it like cologne. I thank God for never letting go. I'm in the studio, getting ready for the radio. Every day I'm always making sure that I'ma work towards my goals. I just wanna make sure I'm on focus. I don't wanna be homeless again. I like a cash flow in a back row with a love bug and a lot of hugs. I've been done wrong since I was young. And it's crazy, cause that's all I really want. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot tonight. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. A roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna joyride, we only live one life. Lot of niggas terrified, don't wanna live a lie. Yeah, if you wanna ride, that's okay, that's on me. That's all I really want, chillin' on the mountaintop. That's all I really want. What's up, cuzzo? Where you at? You chillin'? That's what's up. Doing you. I miss you, man. I love you, man. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot tonight. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. A roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna joyride, we only live one life. Lot of niggas terrified, don't wanna live a lie. Yeah, if you wanna ride, that's okay, that's on me. I got this feeling that my dreams will never come unless I chase it. I've been feeling hella lazy, need to push up on myself. Guilty conscience keep me waiting on some help. Basically, I had insecurities. Mentally, I was killing myself. Constantly running from my memory. Apparently, I was dealing with anxiety. Like, what is this inside of me? How do I identify it? Gotta get it out of me. I just wanna be free. If you ride with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't gotta lie to me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot tonight. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. A roadside, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna joyride, we only live one life. Lot of niggas terrified, don't wanna live a lie. Yeah, if you wanna ride, that's okay, that's on me. Rest assured, I'ma be an entrepreneur. I can feel it out of my bones. You can smell it like cologne. I thank God for never letting go. I'm in the studio, getting ready for the radio. Every day I'm always making sure that I'ma work towards my goals. I just wanna make sure I'm on focus. I don't wanna be homeless again. I like a cash flow in a back row with a love bug and a lot of hugs. I've been done wrong since I was young. And it's crazy, cause that's all I really want. If you figure out with me, that's okay, that's on me. You can be yourself, you ain't got a lot of me. I could come and slide you, I could be your pilot. We gon' live like we're never gonna see. A raw side, chillin' on the mountaintop. We just wanna joyride. We only live one life.
Hi guys, Joe, I see you. Let me figure out how to get you here.
Oh, really? I'm in there.
No, I said I see you. I see you. You see my text message? No, 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 no. I said it's a different message. Go look at my last message in our personal. Hi guys.
Oh, I did. Okay. All right, cool. Cool
Okay.
beans.
I was like, I didn't know if I saw that. Hi guys, we got Deanna, Chantel, Kiera, Brandy, Felicia, Vashalise. How y'all doing?
All right.
Jessica, Alexis. All right. Oh my gosh, we had such a big response today. Joe, you saw us talk about the federal roles with mental health.
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh
That
my
is
gosh, how did y'all like?
wonderful.
I know. So I was able to speak with POM, the OPM, Office
OPM.
Yes, Office of Personnel Management, and they were talking to me. I told them about our upcoming workshop, and we were having this conversation around mental health because her executive assistant was taking a month off. And so she was like, oh, my executive assistant, she's taking a month off, and she kind of mentioned it. So I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, she has some things going on. So I asked her more like, how does that work? And she was kind of talking to me about what she called wraparound services around mental health that's being pushed now in federal government.
Okay.
I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get a deeper conversation about it. But hi guys, hi Philip. Joe, how are you today? Oh gosh, I'll have it all here. Hey now. So before we get started, guys, I do want to let you guys know about some things that are coming down the pipeline with Black on the Job that you guys are going to be excited about. And I'm very happy about too. We have 3 new programs that are be coming out October 1st. Our first one is the one that was inspired by someone in here named Kim Monique. Kim's grandmother, her, and her daughter have all received services from Black on the Job. So she's a mother. So her mama. So it's been 3 generations of bees who've gotten jobs from Black on the Job. And so because of that, isn't that amazing?
Yes, it is.
And it inspired me to come up with the Legacy Bee series coming out October 1st, to where if you have a family member who receives services from Black on the Job, those will be discounted and they will be a part of the Legacy Bee series, to where you and your family can get discounted services for Black on the Job. I think it'd be good for us to start having some different levels of generations inside of Black on the Job. And over the past year, we realized that I think it was between 20 to 30% of our customers are people who were sent from family members.
And I am always hearing throughout the sessions, I'm always going, I was referred by, or my wife had hers done, or my husband. So that's wonderful. It just kind of shows us how giving back, Yeah.
Wonderful. Right. We're going to do that. And then we're going to have our BIBs. And our BIBs going forward is that if they've ever purchased a package from us, started in October, I think they said October for BIBs. No, BIBs are in January. Starting January of next year, anybody who's ever purchased a package from us when they purchase a package, they will actually get a coupon code that they can use, which will be lifetime access to where they'll always get 20% off any workshop or training from Black on the Job. So if you've ever received workshops, services from us, we'll have that. So we have our Legacy Bees, we have our BIBs, and then I also want to address our Jobby Juniors, because that's a big thing. A lot of you guys were upset that we got rid of the Jobby Junior program. So what we have decided to do is that our Jobby Juniors, those are people ages of 17 to 23, they will get a 20% off any package. That way they can still get those discounted services, but that they can have more wraparound. And the reason why we discontinued Jobby Junior was Jobby Junior had courses included in their packages. But with our new workforce and our younger bees, they're coming out with analytical certifications. And just because they're there in that age group, a lot of them are making six figures and they want more strategic coaching. And so I was like, okay, we need to revamp this whole program, and that would be the best way to do so. So starting in January will be Jobbies, VIBs, and our legacy bees. And those will be 3 different programs that are coming out of Black on the Job. So I am very happy about that. No, I said in January, I knew your black butt was going to say that.
October, what?
Friday. You know, black folks, they always try to double coupon something every time.
We will try it. We will try it.
They will try it. So, Joe, since our conversation last week, I know you have been inundated with federal calls.
Yes. Yes. Federal calls, interview preps. And, you know, it's great because I've had people that have really, you know, been in the private sector for a long time, coming, you know, on and reaching out and just really wanting to pivot. So I think that is fantastic. And I hope all of those bees with those questions are in that workshop on Saturday, because we can't even begin to go into in the live the information and the things you will learn from being in the workshop. So you guys make sure you're there, because you've had a lot of questions and you'll get them all answered on Saturday.
Yes. And I also wanted us to address, as far as there are a lot of people that are scared that without their education, or if they want to move within the federal government, that they won't have that possibility due to their background, as far as not having enough education or not having certifications. What do you think is the benefit for those who are like, you know what, I've been doing customer service for 10 years. There's no way the federal government's going to look at me. I have a high school diploma.
Well, you know, that's another myth. Because that is one of the reasons why they have that general schedule, that GS level. They have all levels, anywhere from 0 years of experience on up to, you know, the GS 15s, which are several years of experience and higher degrees. So there is no not having experience, but in the federal government. They have roles that are just really super entry level. And that's some of the things we'll share tonight. As a matter of fact, I have like some comparisons that I want to show tonight, the benefit of having the federal roles and not that much experience. But no, you can get a role with federal government. And I can tell you, once you do start with the federal government, typically those who start right out of high school, we're finding during a lot of surveys and polls that they've stayed with the federal government and retired from the federal government. So you just have so much more job security. So, you know, you definitely can still get a federal job with just a high school diploma, for sure.
Okay, Joe, well, let me shut up. Go ahead and share your screen then. How do I do it? How do I let you share?
I can share from here. Let me see. Just kind of want to show some of the differences of the wages and things like that. So let me share my screen and then pull it up. Okay. Hold on. It's going to be this one right here. Okay. First, can you see it or no?
I can't, but how can I?
Okay. Let me see. Okay, I got it. I think I got to do it this way. I think I got to do it this way and then do it this way. Okay, can you see it now?
No.
Still can't?
No. What's yours? Do you see the button at the bottom that look like an arrow?
Yeah, it's
okay. No. Oh no, you do it. Now you do it. Now do it. Do the same thing you just did. I think it was me.
Oh, okay. Still can't see it?
No, but I took my screen sharing off.
Huh.
Or you can send me the link and I'll share it.
Okay. I don't know if it's because I'm not sure what, because I'm not the host or whatever. But actually, I could share it last time, so I'm trying to figure out.
Let me see.
Huh. Okay. I was able to share last time.
It was. Let me see. What did we do last time? No, you just pressed the button yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I hate that. Okay. Well, share screen. Yeah. I'm in it. I think, you know what? Let me see something. Share screen, press H. I think I got to go to this first. No, it's not working. Man, I wanted to show them that comparison because I had created for you guys a way to see the difference in.
Send it to me on Slack.
Oh,
Send it to
okay.
me on Slack, and I'll send it over.
Okay.
She has to be co-host. No, she is the co-host, I think, y'all.
Yeah.
But no, she can send it to me on Slack, and then I could share it, and she could talk through it.
Okay. Here we go. Let's see.
She is using multiple screens, Brandy. You know our problem. You know we're not technical.
Okay.
Yeah, one of these days, y'all, we're gonna be able to afford a tech person. I promise you.
Okay, I'll send it to you right now. Let's see. Hold on.
Tony Franklin, you absolutely right. Tony talking about she got VA and spouse preference, and I need to be using it. Make no sense. Girl, don't make me say my name is Tony Franklin and I.
Okay. Yeah, it's not. For some reason, it's just not doing what I wanted to do. But what I wanted to show them, and I'm going to keep trying to send it, was the difference in what we can do, what we make in the in the private sector to what you can make in the federal sector. And if I can ever get this over to send, let me see.
What you looking at it on?
Save as. It's in here. Okay. Oh, shoot. I hate this kind of stuff. I really do. Okay, hold on. We're going to get it in just a minute. Gonna jump. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right, here we go. Back on the job. Okay.
You see this to me?
I could share last time. I don't know why it's not letting me do it, but nevertheless.
Yeah, you can send it to me on Slack and I'll share it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. It's not.
No, take your time. While you doing that, okay, while she is getting that over to you guys, I do have some of the comparisons here that I had did earlier today because y'all didn't get to see them. So let's talk about what they look like too. And we were looking at some of these roles within the federal government. Let me go to where we were looking at them while Joe gets it over to us. Let me show y'all what we found today within the federal. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not doing it.
Okay, so you guys were asking what roles were available, and I went ahead and did my little researches for you guys. So let me show y'all what we found out that what was open. Okay, so we went over this today, Joe. And I don't know if y'all guys saw this. We were able to get information on what departments in the federal government was hiring and what roles were available right now. So within program analysts, the Department of Veteran Affairs, Homeland Security, and General Service Administration has over 1,000 program analyst roles open right now.
Wow.
And the Federal Automation Specialist role across departments, the Department of Defense, General Service Administration, and the NSA, National Security Agency. They have around 300 automatic roles that you guys can apply for right now. And Joe, they were saying that those ones were direct to hire.
Okay, yeah, that's fantastic. A lot of times we've had people, bees that have said they went in to try to get a role and it's not open to them. And there are some who that the federal only allows certain types of individuals to apply to. For example, the enlisted, people that are already there, people that have been in the service for a while. But when they have those direct hire open public roles, then anybody can apply to those. So that's what you want to look for.
Yes, and these roles that I pulled, because she sent a big old list. These roles were the ones that were remote. These roles were the ones that were direct hire, and these roles were the ones that had lower education requirements depending on which one.
Mm-hmm.
They had for the data scientists, the Census Bureau, the Department of Commerce, as well as the Department of Defense. They have close to 500 roles open right now, and their salary ranges are between 85 to 115. Business development specialists, that was 95 to 130. They had about 200 roles open. And I say about 200 roles because once I was like at 187, I stopped counting. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I mean by about. So these were the four ones. So between these alone, this was 1,000, 1,300, 1,800,
Wow.
1,900 roles. And these were the roles that she had available this week. And what she was telling me is that this year, what she noticed is that it was the competition level was actually very low. That usually they have an upsurge of applicants that come in right at the beginning of September. But this year, she said she doesn't know if it's the political climate or what, but they're not having as many people apply. So what happened was that they turned all those roles that were there into direct placement, direct hire, is what she kept saying. She was like, you know what I mean? I was like, mm-hmm. I knew I just asked you later.
That's fantastic. But Sin, that's because what we're finding too, that's part of because the myths, those myths are out there unexplained. And a lot of people just think they won't qualify or can't qualify for those federal roles. So that's some of the things we want to make sure we clear up some of the myths because people qualify much more than they think they do. There's a fear there that you have to have a certain level of, I did end up sharing that with you. It finally uploaded to Sin on Slack. But yeah, it's on Slack.
Yep, I got it. Okay.
And so, there are a lot of myths surrounding the federal roles that we want to clear up. That's another thing we, intend to do in the workshop, because if you look, what this shows here is it is such a myth based on dollars by hour for the federal government. If you see the positions in blue on the chart, that is the average federal benefits and average federal wages, and they are higher for those who only have a high school diploma or less.
Oh, wow.
Now, those who have some college, they're still higher. So the private sector doesn't end up really paying more in compensation until you start getting with, advanced degrees, PhDs, and things like that. But up until that point, typically the federal wages are higher. And so those are some of the myths that people think that just because it's the words government are there, that they won't pay as much, but it is so untrue. And a lot of times I'll just take the bees through, to USAJOBS and show them the difference in how that particular role that they're looking for in the private sector, how it actually is compensated at a higher rate in the federal sector. So it is a difference, and it doesn't really start kind of evening out until you get past that master's degree level.
Yes. And you know what I see happening more than a lot, and I do see, because I see that Tavia said, I'm not sure. I'm in a contract role, and I hear the exact opposite. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong, Tavia, but let me give you some perspective for those of you guys. Number one, when it comes to the federal government, how can I say this in a way that you guys don't take offense? It's bigger than what you think. Yeah. So one of the questions that someone just said was, well, all the roles you just listed require education. No, those 1,000 program analyst roles, I threw them into a data sheet and I had it subjugated by what type of requirements were required. And they gave me a list actually of 17 different roles. I picked the 4 that had 40% or more without educational requirements. And because the federal government is literally the largest employer of the United States, it's absolutely no way that one person will have all the information. That's the reason why I had to book a meeting with OPM, the Office of Personnel Management, because the federal government has way more departments and roles than what we actually can conceptualize. We can sometimes work in one sliver. And like, for instance, I had someone recently, Joe, that I ended up sending over to you. She was like, well, I've always worked for Social Security. I've always worked for Social Security. I know social service. I know this. And then she said, I worked at the VA. This is how the resumes go. I've never need to have a federal resume. I've been doing this for 12 years. And I'm like, I get that you've been in this one department or these two departments under this one title for 12 years. It still won't give you the full breadth of what happens when it comes to federal government.
Right.
It's the largest employer. They are having over, I think they say they hire about 200 to 250,000 roles per year. And this is not something that I'm saying. This is something that's on their website. And this is something that you can see those roles come out. Even with the federal government, they have 3 different sites that they're currently hiring from.
Mhm.
They have their USAJOBS.gov, they have AI, and they have tech. And to be honest, they just sent us over this information when I spoke to her, to where she had this other one, which was openops.usa, to where she had them more earmarked by what exactly was needed, what department, if the role was virtual or not. And so this was last updated September 17th. What's today's date?
Mhm.
Is today the 17th?
18th, yeah.
Yeah, today's the 18th. So these were roles that apply by October 23rd. These are roles that are currently hiring. And I like this one too, because it says exactly what sort of what skill sets they were looking for. So she even gave me this one, and these were all remote roles. She was like, oh, you know what, San, I got another website that I can give you that I'm pulling resumes from too. It's a huge, huge system. And I think that one of the things that happens is that you can get lost in it. You know,
Yes.
I used to say this when it came to nurses, and I'm sure you've heard this before.
Yes.
Nurses say they hospitals like a city.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
And they can get caught up in the metrics of it. So I'm glad that you brought that up. But there are, for instance, Joe let us know about the felony hiring, right?
Mhm.
So felonies, people with felonies, usually what I've heard through the grapevine, which I'm sure most of us heard, is that
Mhm.
if you have a felony, you can't work for federal. But in reality, they have full programs and roles that are all the way up to 100, 200,000 a year for
Yes.
those with felonies. Same thing with those with disabilities. Many times we may have disabilities we're struggling with. And Joe, I did want you to, because I told her I would ask you today. I had a lady come to us and say, is there a age cap? She was a little bit older, and she said, well, I don't know if they will accept me because I'm older. What do you know about that?
Absolutely, they will. I think that another myth, they get caught up because the retirement age for the federal government, it only starts at 57, which is so beautiful that you can apply instead of waiting until 68 years old. But people think that, but no, there is no, with the government, no, there's no age cap as long as you meet the requirements of the position, because they have people, enlisted people and veterans that work for the government that have been there, for years and years and years, way past retirement age, as long as they can meet the requirements for the role. So no, there is no age cap. I had one like that the other day, a bee that said, well, I'm 57 and I don't want to apply. But yes, by all means, the federal government, they look at skills, experience, and they are very, 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 very much more, I'll say, than the private sector. They look at things like diversity and age. They have to, because they are the federal government. So they can't cast people out and make all of those type of dispersions that private sector can do. Private sector can do that because they're private. Some of them, depending on where their money's coming from. But they cannot. So you can go ahead and apply. As long as you meet the criteria for those roles, you can apply. And speaking of those tech roles that you were talking about, Sin, all of our bees and all of the people that have any type of tech experience, by all means, now is the time. With the way the federal government is requesting, they are hungry. There's over something like 7,000 tech roles they're trying to fill right now.
Yeah.
AI roles, and you guys really take advantage of them, because they have made different allowances for certifications, 6 months free certifications through IBM and things like that, because they're so desperate for AI and tech. But with the age group, it does not matter, as long as you can require, if you can meet the requirements, and even if you need some sort of special accommodations or things like that, the government for sure is going to make sure that you have those accommodations. They have complete disability sites where you can look for jobs you know, based on your specific type of disability. So they're much more forgiving with things like that than the private sector.
And Joe, I see Naisha, she mentioned, she said, I got hired on a direct announcement as a GS5 and now I'm a GS12. That was another thing that people were saying, was that they were also looking at the GS schedule and not realizing, and I do want to be gentle with you guys in the understanding that even when it comes to the GS schedule, where you start on the GS schedule is not always with the clean cut lines of high school diploma, because it will say within the announcement that you will be considered at GS12 if you have 2 years of this education or 1 year of this education. And that's because with each one of those departments, they have the leniency to say, hey, we're needing somebody with these specialized skills. We're going to have to attract top talent. So it's going to be important for us to start them at a higher rate. And another thing that they have coming out this year, and I'm going to show you guys in a second, was that if you do not have technical experience, they now have a federal tech program that's being released department by department, to where they're giving free upskill and training so that those who are working in the federal government can have their AI and tech training, which is amazing. Because I said, damn, y'all really looking for people that bad.
Right.
This is crazy.
Right. Let me, I think I can share this too. 1 second. I think now mine is here. I just wanted to kind of share. Can you see that?
Look at you, Joe. Look at you.
Okay. It tries to get me in trouble, but you know I ain't gonna be outdone.
Joe, real quick, Pamela said, did you say the retirement age was 57?
Yeah, that is the minimum retirement age. You can retire at 57 with the federal government, and like, whereas we in private have to wait till 66 and 8 months or something crazy. Yes, it is 57 with full benefits, full pension, and all of that at 57. Yes.
Oh, okay. Go. All right. Well, let me go ahead and let you share your screen. Go ahead, Joe. Can you zoom in a little bit on that? Press the plus button at the top.
So let me see.
You see where it says minus and plus at the top? Right above federalpay.org. You'll see a plus and a minus button.
Oh.
You see it?
It's not. Wait a minute.
Oh, let me see. Let me see if I'm on my phone.
I think yours is doing better stuff than mine. Let me see.
No. I'm saying no, on your actual computer, because you're
on.
Yeah, right there. You see that plus? Yep.
I was blowing it up. Okay. I want to do the I want to show the whole screen. So let me go out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to show from top.
Line.
But yeah, okay. So just kind of to let you see. Okay, no, just kind of to let you see what the pay scale is, you know, in these GS levels. So if you look at the step 1, you know, you may be starting out at step 1, but this is with high school diploma minimum, but it depends on the job and it depends on your education. It depends on what you're doing. They are more forgiving than people think. They don't just say, oh, well, they just got a high school diploma. They just have to start here. You know, they may start you out at a 2 or a 3. You know,
right.
But you can see where the GS levels go and how far they go and how far they extend with the pay scales. It is really a big difference in the starting pay scales for private sector and federal sector. And I think they said it's about maybe like 8%. Is the disparity and the difference between what private sector pays and what federal pays up to a certain point. So that's just to kind of give you the idea if you just have minimal experience. And these steps are based on your experience. So you may be, you know, a GS1, okay, starting the first step. But if you've had experience, you know, and you're going to college and things like that, you know, it is going to vary. So you don't just have to always think you're going to start out at this first level of salary, because it does matter with your experience and what your education is. So that's just to give you an idea of how much they pay. And then when we get Bs, very seldom will you see a B or an individual that's an 11 that's making this kind of money. You know, it's typically if they've gone to college and if they have had some work experience, they're going to move them on down the scale. So just to give you an idea, it is a higher pay scale than the things that we are seeing in the private sector for sure.
Yes. And then to show them that's exactly right. So to give even an example to what Joe was saying, and I like to show this one so that you guys can see, right? So for instance, let's say for instance, you were going for this contract specialist role, right? And so we see that this is a fully remote role. The time frame is open right now, right? And the salary is 98,000 to 151,000. And as Joe said, it's showing on the pay scale that the pay scale is GS 13 to 14, but the salary range is 98 to 151.
And that's
So
a
then
big range. That's a large range.
That's a big range. So then when we go down here and we decide, well, how do we understand what are they considering? This is what they're saying. They're saying that in order to be considered for that, you would have to have at least 4 years of experience in contracting and 1 year of experience within specialization. And this is just a bachelor's degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying someone with a bachelor's degree and 4 years of contracting experience will now be able to qualify for a GS 13 for this role, and their salary range will be within this. Although this is the salary range for a doctorate, for this specialized role, they're looking for someone with just a bachelor's degree and 4 years of experience. So that's what we mean by that GS scale, is to determine where you're going to land so you can know where your salary step is. But depending on the department and the role, which is why with Admin Joe does the federal career coach. That's why y'all can't ever get me for federal career coach. I'm not trained and qualified enough. She has way more training than me. So she will be able to say, okay, these are your highest skills. I know the departments who think these KSAs are worth six figures, baby. We're going to stick to these departments. They love strategic planning. The Department of Transportation, they're big on supply chain and logistics. If you got strategic planning, let's look for your role in this department. And that, to me, honestly, is the best part of having strategic coaching and having Admin Joe do that federal workshop, is that she knows the different departments, but she also knows what those departments want to see. So you searching on your own, right? You search for contract specialists, you're going to see roles on USAJOBS that start at 30,000 with the bachelor's degree. But if you don't know which department is like, please apply with me today, you won't know where to go to find those roles. Because I was talking to some people like, I didn't even know the federal government had AI and tech roles. I'm like, you don't think they're trying to figure out a way?
Right.
That is
okay.
It was from 2019.
Get on that bandwagon. And also, before we get off that, because I do want to talk about this new AI program they talk about. But before we get off that, Shan, can you share it'll take mine all day to find it. Can you share where they have on USAJOBS when you're applying for those jobs? I have never seen in the private sector ever, unless you research on Glassdoor and have an inside track to the company, where they will actually give you the answers to the questions that they are going to be asking. You talk about preparing. I was telling a B during one of our sessions the other day, I said, now, if you fail this interview, honey, I just want you to let me know something, because they actually had the questions that they were going to be asking you during the interview. So we went over every question, fine-tuned them, got them perfect, so that when she goes to her interview, she has them down pat. And they tell you if these questions are going to be required or not. So basically, some of these jobs, and I wish I would have kept that.
I got it.
Some of them will literally tell you, okay, when you come to the interview, this is what we're going to ask you. Just be ready for this. And you could not even, it couldn't even be an easier way.
Here goes. You can preview right here. It tells you, here goes the Department of Defense. I found a different role, y'all. I just went and searched real quick. They have it right here. Are you a current military? Here it goes. Here goes the assessment questions right here.
Yeah. So, it is absolutely essential to kind of learn more and get rid of the myths so that you can really understand what it is that you will be, undertaking when you apply for a federal role. These questions that are here, and I've been to the federal role, mock panel interviews, and typically they will be a panel interview. Because the beauty to me when they talk about, oh, the federal roles are so, streamlined. I mean, it's so bureaucratic and so much red tape. What they don't understand is you can't get any more streamlined than having your resume be your application.
Yeah.
And having them do a panel interview with the 3 or 4 people there, so you're not coming back 3 and 4 times for interviews. And that's how they streamline their process. It's almost always a panel interview. So the players are there, the decision makers are there, and your resume is your application. So technically, once you do those 2 steps, you're done.
And you're absolutely right. And one of the main reasons is because they don't have recruiters.
Right.
So they don't have a recruiting portion. So the interview questions are going to be with the panel. And that's the reason why we have our federal interview preparation for that reason. Now, one of the things that, and Leslie, that's the reason why we prepare you. We show you the questions they're going to be asking you, and we pull them in. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to tell you guys how I came to be with offering federal services at Black on the Job. The reason why I started offering federal services at Black on the Job were for people who were undereducated and overemployed, and we were kind of maxed out on what we can do. So this is when I was people that were in severe crises. I mean, people who are making between $9 to $11 an hour, single mom, 4 kids, I'm in a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
And then we're paying for their resume services. We're giving them free services, but at the same time, I also understood their need. And so with them, okay, you're not going to be able to dress up for an interview. You're not going to be able to play politics. You're in the middle of a crisis situation. We need somebody that I can know you can guarantee get a job with. So with the federal government, it was a guarantee. Right. And so I had to hire a coach to start helping me with that federal side, because when all hope is lost, I would throw people to federal, because I knew the federal government has to catch you. It's their job.
Right.
It's their job to have a job for you. So if I couldn't do anything else, I could throw you to federal. Right. So I think sometimes what happens within our community, and I do it too, when I was working, you put your head down, you worry about your work, and you do that, and you don't really understand the full complexity of what's going on. Even to the point to where we have so many people who say that it's a long hiring process to get into the federal government. It depends, because direct hires start within less than 30 days.
Right.
It really depends on the role. A lot of people say, oh, well, there's no remote in federal. That's incorrect. There's no in federal. That's incorrect. They don't hire felons. That's incorrect. Most of the stuff that you hear about the federal government is used to gatekeep you out of the federal government.
Absolutely. No, it is. Absolutely. I want to, let's see.
I'm at the point where I would relocate to DMV area for the right position. You don't have to. There are remote positions, and you don't have to work in Washington, D.C. to work for the federal government. No. They have federal roles in every single state. It's the largest employer in the United States. You think Amazon hire? They don't hire as much as the federal government.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. I want to do a little comparison to saying real quick.
You done figured out how to click away now.
Oh yeah, I'm just acting up now. Okay, but look, no, but I want to do a comparison, show you guys really a comparison of the federal roles. And can you see it? I'm on a different monitor, but I want to show you, the difference. There you go. The difference. Job security, high job security, layoffs are less common. This is one of the reasons why I was bringing certain people, as I do. I've been doing the, employing in the federal sector for, I can't even tell you, I would date myself, but for decades. And it is high job security. And there are people that started, with me back years ago that are still working for the federal government because they just don't lay off. I mean, I can't even remember a time when a federal government department laid off. So these are just some of the differences in the federal and private sector. They typically have a fixed pay scale, that GS scale, but some positions actually offer competitive salaries. And quite frankly, it depends on how bad they want you and if they can make concessions. Everybody can make concessions. They receive excellent healthcare plans. Benefits vary by employer. Work-life balance. I can tell you, One thing they do is they celebrate and they let you off on every holiday. They are not trying to hear it. Those government workers at 4:30 on the clock, they are done.
I swear to God.
They are done. Career advancement, they got a clear career path. We all know that in the private sector, we've got some great private sector jobs out there, but quite frankly, sometimes clear advancement isn't there until you've been there for several years. Sometimes this right here, this is the biggest chalupa for me. The pension and retirement. It is such a great retirement plan. I mean, the federal government's retirement plan is second to none. And like I said, you retire at 57. Structured training programs, generous leave, job satisfaction. We've done polls and surveys. Job satisfaction is high because they're comfortable. They're not worrying about, oh my God, they laid off Susie yesterday. I wonder if I'm next. That makes the difference in morale. Federal agencies have strong diversity and inclusion policies. As a matter of fact, they're the ones who bring lawsuits against these private companies for not having diversity and inclusion. So there's just a lot of things, a lot of benefits to having that federal government role.
Yes. Now, Joe, I have two questions that came in. Oh, and one thing I did not know. Mrs. Tiff said that she gets out 3 hours early before every holiday working for the feds.
I know that's right.
Go, girl. We do that. That's right. I know we do. And then Honey said that if there's no HR roles, if there's no recruiting, does that mean that there are not HR roles? That's incorrect. There are HR roles within the federal government, and there are remote. And someone asked a question, and I'm so happy you asked this question because I'm gonna let Joe answer it because I'm gonna tell you how I'm not lying. She said, "What about those who are overeducated and underemployed?"
Oh God, those that are overeducated. You can't be too overeducated. In the private sector, yes, you can.
You can. Yes, you can.
But no, that's where again the GS role comes in. We've actually had some bees that have come to us that have been overeducated and underemployed and have looked at their transferable skills, and they were able to actually look and transition into federal roles that were higher up. 14s and 15s, starting out at 14 and 15. And the pay scale is higher than they were making in that private sector. So there's kind of no such thing. And it's not a cap. Another myth is people feel like because it's a GS 15 or 14 and there's a cap, there are special concessions that are made for people who have that salary past the GS 15 level. That does not mean you can't work for them. There's special processes that they go through to increase your salary for that based on what your manager submits and a lot of that. So it's not a cap in that way. You can be a GS 14 and 15 and make more than what you see on that GS scale.
Yes. And guys, Black on the Job would not exist if we did not service those who are overeducated and underemployed. That is Black women. So you Black women listening today, that is the reason why we tote around that we are the most educated in the world, but we're also the lowest paid. That is the truth. So being overeducated and underemployed is truly the hallmark of us trying to even out those gaps. Yeah. And to Admin Joe's point, that's the reason why going into the federal government, it kind of safeguards your career because it doesn't go by race because they're not trying to get sued. So what your salary is based off of who you are. And even if you do not have a degree, because someone else asked that as well, not having a degree also is not a limitation. Sometimes people go over with no degree and then they have the government pay for the degree. That is a thing too. And Empress made a beautiful point. She said, I can say the benefits. My biological mother was well taken care of when she passed away unexpectedly. HR helped me navigate that beautifully. I gained a lot of respect for federal employment during that experience. And that is absolutely correct. Absolutely. They have and condolences. They have amazing benefits. And like Joe said, pensions. Now, I don't know, and I'm gonna ask Joe. Joe, is there a requirement of how long you have to work in the federal? So, if someone's 50 years old and then they were retire at 57, does that mean that they have less pension benefits than someone who worked there for 20 years?
No, when you retire at 57, you get your full benefits amounts, regardless. It's a full pension, full benefit amount. And that is the difference in the federal government and the private sector. It is a full benefit amount. And so, and they match certain things. Their matches are a little more than the private sector as well. So, it like I said, it's just disparaging a lot of the myths. And for the person who was talking about human resources, OPM, that is human resources. The Office of Personnel Management is just a big broader scale of human resources, but that is their human resources department. But for the other question, no, you definitely retire with your full benefits. And that's why a lot of people, when you see these postal workers that never leave, they get their pension, the full pension, and you never have to worry about, well, I'm going to get a percentage of the pension, or I'm going to get this. It just doesn't work that way. And that is one of the beauties to me, that is the beauty for transitioning into a federal role. Because if you are looking at coming up on retirement age, you can't lose with a federal role.
Yes, Evan said they're off every recognized holiday.
Yes.
And another person, did your previous job title set an unreachable bar? No, Nichelle, that doesn't exist there.
No.
And how could you best utilize and get a leg up for non-competitive? Vashalise will be discussing that in the workshop. And if you're transitioning from a field like teaching, we still can use your transferable skills.
Oh, yes.
So this is what Admin Joe will be going over in the workshop, not just how to get into the federal government, but why and the benefits. I wouldn't push it, guys, if I did not think that this is, let me be transparent with you guys and have a larger transparent conversation. Do you have to work 20 years? No, Bria, you do not have to work the 20 years to get the pension. You get your full benefits.
No.
And they pay sometimes more in the private sector unless you're at that doctorate degree, L. But before you get to the doctorate, by and large, more of their roles, role for role, pay more in the federal government. And the reason why we decided to do this workshop around the September surge during their highest hiring season is honestly because of where we are within the global economy. So Black on the Job, because of our mission to gear every Black person to six figures, a lot of the layoffs that we were seeing this year, as well as the supply chain industry not fully recovering from COVID yet. On top of that, companies downscaling because of AI. I realized that for Black people, most of us being overeducated and underemployed, we were the ones who are getting the worst end of the stick. And so for us as a company, it's not so much just about the sales, but also about the impact for me. When I thought about it, like, okay, how can we continue to help Black people with these roles and getting jobs that I know they're qualified for? And I know our service are top notch. What's going on? Where is the slowdown at? And I realized that the protection around the federal government, and when we start looking at our data, when Joe, Admin Yesha, when they were moving people into the federal government, those people were locked and loaded. These were not people who were saying something like, well, Sin, my company just did a major layoff. Sin, my company just went through a big merger. Oh, my company was acquired. Once they got into the federal government, it safeguarded their salary. It gave them room for upward advancement. It gave them benefits. It gave them a career track forward, and they are safe from being fired. And so for some of us who are used to being underemployed and working under titles that are underneath our value, we haven't truly benefited or seen what it looked like to be at a company, because we're working at the federal government is your company, to where not only are you getting paid your worth, because that's one thing we can say. Companies don't have to pay your worth. The federal government has to.
They do.
Get paid your worth. You damn near can't get fired unless you stabbed Uncle Sam yourself. You're getting benefits, and you're able to get your pension. And so with this new election coming in, and I'm not going to speak too much on it, I really don't know how companies are going to respond. I know how happy we are to have a Black female president, and we're hoping for that. But if she does get into office, I'm scared. And if she doesn't get into office, I'm scared.
I'm terrified at that point.
I'm terrified because I also understand that no matter what happens, I'm going to close my laptop down, but you got to go to work next to those clear folks. And I don't know how they're going to respond to the current climate. Yeah. And I'm not for sure if our community can take another blow like we did during the pandemic. Some of us are just now balancing shit back out, just to be honest. So when this is happening and we're dealing with big political swings the way that we are, and companies are going to respond, yeah, we have cancel culture. But one thing I ask my best friend every day, how many posts do you remember today from Facebook? None. Wow. Because we have way too much information coming in. Right. So yes, we can cancel Target or whatever is going to happen, but it's not going to make, y'all been trying to cancel Starbucks since Palestine became Palestine. Ain't shit happen. Folks, you want to see somebody right now to drive through getting a extra large coffee.
Right,
right. I just want to be honest with you guys. And so I want to help move you guys into a direction that I know that these bees under this wall is safe, and we can focus on the rest of you guys. But what we will be doing, Admin Joe, mainly and exclusively, I'll just be cheering in the background, is that the workshop this weekend will teach you about what's available in the federal government, how you can get in the federal government, what your federal resume needs to look like, upward career trajectory, what a pension looks like and benefits. And to be honest, and y'all ain't got to say it because I can say it, I ain't never worked, because I got out of the corporate world kind of young, but I will say I didn't have any benefits, and I know what it's like to be working. Some of us ain't never seen the benefits. Some of y'all put in chat GPT pension when she said pension. Let me tell you why. Because the first time I heard the word pension, I was like, what's that? You know, and it's just the truth. It's just the God honest truth.
Yeah. And for those bees who are wondering when, you only have to work 5 years to get your full pension. That's unheard of in the private sector. It's a 5-year mark to get your pension with the government. Now, and like I said, and most people stay. And look at the people who as well, you can't work in a private sector job and get your whole student loan paid off. There are bees who are working right now that don't want to transition out of their federal roles because they're paying off their student loans, and they're slowly paying off the student loans just by staying in their position with that government or a federally contracted company. It can be that they pay too. A major university, a nonprofit company, they will pay your student loans. So there's a lot of benefits to it. There are. People say, oh, the student loan program isn't going on. Not true. If you work for a federal government or for a federally contracted company, they are still paying your student loans.
Oh my gosh. Ferolier says she had to work 30 years to get her pension. And I ain't gonna lie, Joe, I think that's the reason why some of us in our 30s, we don't know what a pension is because companies don't offer that no more. Yeah. And Rashida said, hey, behave. She said they barely offer a 2% match on 401k. Right. Some of us need the protection. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Right.
Let me tell you who should attend the workshop. If you got more than 7 jobs on your resume right now, go ahead and sign up. If you've been job hopping, but your salary ain't half the dollar.
Okay.
Oh, yes. And that's another thing. State and federal are different. So
also, wait, don't leave out those who live in those communities and in these rural places that don't have major corporations, major companies, major factories. You get with those government roles, especially if they're remote or government contract or something, because you don't have a lot of options in a lot of areas. I've talked to bees that have a couple of major companies in their area because they're so rural. But once they get with that federal role and don't have to worry about hopping and changing, you're good. So it's the stability and the pay and the benefits. And if that's what you're looking for, that's the way to go.
Yes. Even if you're in healthcare, there are a lot of roles within healthcare as well. Nurses, CNAs, medical assistants. Yeah. There's what you guys got more options than you realize. So make sure y'all attend the workshop. Go to the website. It's linked at the bottom. And remember, some of you guys are saying, what about my resume? What we did do was that the resumes that are included with the workshop, you can just get the workshop after pay is available. You pay $125 right tonight. And I think she has I think we have 3 or 4 more slots left. But the federal workshop, you can get the ticket by itself. You can get it with additional one-on-one coaching if you wanted to, or you can get it with the resume package. Now, remember, you don't have to get this right now. You can get this later once the workshop is done. But this way that you can get everything that you need in order to move into the federal government, mastering your federal resume building, how to navigate USA jobs, all of the websites, understanding the federal hiring process, how to maximize your application. Some of you guys say you're a veteran, spouses, gaining security clearance knowledge, how that pays for you and how that can go so that you guys can have that. Joe is a master at this, and that's why we know that this is what's going to be most helpful for a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys are struggling. And in the comments, y'all can see people who moved over to federal. And I will tell you this, the only time that we get someone that's in federal that want to transition out is after they retire. I have senior bees who like, I'm just trying to collect my pension,
Right.
do a part-time job, admin,
Right.
that's the only time. Other than that, they gonna coast it on out.
I've never seen it. Yeah. Because there's a security, and on the unfortunately, with the climate of everything that's going on, with the climate of all this, not even just the election, just to me, the state of the world is so different than it used to be. We know the government's not going anywhere. They can't. So, the security is that if there's any concerns about, the security, then that is, we just don't know what the private companies are going to be doing at this point. So, a lot of people just want to transition over for the security.
Yeah. And one thing I'll leave you guys with, every single role you can think of in corporate America, they have in federal, plus their own roles that they created. So some of you guys are saying, what about me? I'm a teacher, I'm a social worker, I'm this, I'm that. All of those roles and every single title you could think of is inside the federal government, plus a plethora of other more. There's never a title you'll put down that I'll say that's not available. Now, those of you guys who want to go to the workshop, but you have something going on, but you want to save your spot, remember you'll have your classroom built out and you'll have access to the recordings. And especially if you know that's your case, I would recommend getting the package with federal career coaching so that afterwards you can say, hey, Joe, I attended the training, I watched the recording, this is what I was thinking. And then you and her can have that one-on-one session and really build that out.
And let me tell you, when we do that one-on-one session, if you're concerned about how do I transition, one of our biggest loves right now from the bees are the transferable skill sheets. When we talk about those transferable skills, I'll actually show you how to speak on what you're doing now, what your skill set is now, and how it marries into one of those federal skill sets, and how you can even talk about it, in your interview, or just to get your own vision or your own understanding of how what you do now transitions in and aligns with those federal roles.
Yes. And so there's no such thing as a role you can't do. And I ain't gonna lie, Admin Joe, let me tell y'all something about Admin Joe. She could sell them transferable skill sheets. I swear to God, I'll buy them 200 a pop because I be having bees. Let me tell you how the bees be looking at me. Admin Sam, I got my paperwork from Joe. Joe told me that I applied. Yeah, so she told me. No, Joe told me this is my skill set.
That's your skill set.
Also, they be so hyped. And I think it's so valuable because they now know exactly what they qualify for. I had a lady today. Okay, Stan, I already spoke with Joe. Like, she kept shooing me away. I already spoke with Joe. I don't need that. What I need you to, she started bossing me around. I need you to run a resume with these skills. Me and Joe got a plan we working on, girl.
Right. That's your transfer. And it's like, they're like, just, oh my God, I didn't realize I did that, but it's a lot of things you probably do, all of y'all that don't even realize you're doing it, that align with something on those federal jobs.
Yes, and Karen Dennis said, BOTJ resume helped me secure a detailed assignment with another federal agency under DHS. Let them know, Department of Homeland Security. Go ahead, Karen. Oh, Karen Denise, girl, I remember. Yeah. Yeah, so y'all will be
No.
just fine. We will see you guys this weekend. Friday, I will have a small Q&A. It'll be 15 minutes just for any additionals. Yes, the replay will be available. Yes, you'll have a classroom with your resources. Yes, you can get your resume packages added on then or later. And no, there's not, oh, I have gaps in my resume. Is that going to disqualify you? Let me tell you, the federal government has to work hard to disqualify somebody.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Joe, because when you first mentioned it to me, I laughed because I thought to myself, this is silly. Why can I think about all those investigative shows we used to watch growing up? And they would have like someone who hacked into the bank, and then the CIA say, "Can you come work with us?"
Right. Right. Yes. Some of those felons.
No, you ain't got to do your time, but can you just come
Right.
over here, help us
Right.
hack into some stuff?
And those are true stories. Those are true
Yeah.
stories. Yeah. Remember Catch Me If You Can? The
Yeah.
pilot? That's a true story. Pulled him right out of prison and gave him a job.
Oh my gosh, Carla, can you just schedule a coaching session with Joe? Yes, you can. Just schedule your coach. Look at Joe. They love them some Joe. I swear to God. Yes, you can. If you book federal career coaching, that's just Admin Joe, and Admin Joe will help you with that. I will have a federal career, a government career. You absolutely right, Deshauna.
Yeah.
You absolutely right. We will absolutely be able to help you.
Yes.
We're excited about this workshop. Honestly, I am very concerned about this election year.
Yeah.
I just don't. I live in the state of Arizona, and I know that even though the world thought we turned blue, I said we turned purple.
We purple. Yeah.
We were purple. We are purple because the day after Biden was elected, I was in Walmart and there was some good old boys. Everybody had their gun on their hip. And I was like, ain't no way they voted for Biden. Yeah.
But don't let him fool you now. You know he didn't get in there with just us either, though.
No.
He did not.
So we do need a way. So if this is your story, you're tired of job hop, same in Georgia. You're right, Yesha. You've been job hopping.
Yeah.
You've been trying to secure something. And what I do like is that you know what you're going to get paid. You know your next step. Get something better. Do something better that will kind of secure you and you can get out the rat wheel for a little bit.
Right.
Sometimes you just need a break.
Yeah.
You know, and in this economy, I'm taking every break I can get.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Well, we'll see y'all this weekend.
Yes, we excited.
Guys. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you so much. If you're looking for the link, it's pinned. And one of the bees will